Sorry, I'm Shabir. You are?
Albi. B.
Albi?
Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay, what are you?
Jew.
I thought so. Yeah.
What a surprise.
Yeah, what a surprise.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just having a discussion, that's all.
No, you can.
Yeah, that's fine. How old are you?
16.
You are 16. Okay.
Getting younger, aren't they? You know, the
I
last
know.
brother was 19 and now he's 16.
I know. He was 18 and a half.
19.
Going to 19.
Sorry.
It's okay. Just don't take it back. I'll keep it. It's all right, isn't it? Yes, brother. What would you like to talk about?
So, I believe that the Israelis have a right to Israel, and I believe the Palestinians also have a right to that land, which is now called Israel.
Okay. Why do you believe it?
Huh?
Why do you believe it?
Why do I believe that Israel? Not from a religious perspective, from a political perspective. The Jews have lived there for thousands of years. That's why.
But why do you believe it?
I just explained.
Sorry?
I just explained.
Because they've been living there for thousands of years.
Yeah.
So if people have been living for thousands of years at a particular place, they have every right to just take it. I'm only being a bit controversial. I'm not suggesting that's the case for Israel, just for the purpose of discussion.
Two different peoples living in one land. Negotiations have to take place about which different peoples control each part of the land, right?
Yeah.
And that's a simple belief of Zionism.
Yeah.
That Israel should exist.
Uh-huh.
If it doesn't exist, where do all those Jews go? They
Okay.
go back to being killed, all of
Okay.
them in the Middle East?
Right. Okay.
I'll give you an example, okay?
Yeah, sure.
From my family story, okay?
Right.
I know anecdotal evidence is slightly kind of pointless, but
Nevertheless,
but I can give you more statistics to prove it.
Sure.
So, I'm from Islam. When the furthest back we know my ancestors were was Islamic Spain, right? You know, and they lived happily there because it was
Yes.
under tolerant leadership. The Catholics came. They killed 6 million Jews, and they ran away. They ran away to Lithuania, right?
Just hold this, please. Thank
That's
you.
why
Sorry.
I'm whiter than normal
It's okay.
And then they got kicked out of there.
Okay.
And they got on a boat. They
Yeah.
thought that boat was going to New York.
Yeah. No, thank you.
That
sorry.
boat was going to Israel.
Oh, right. Okay.
No, that boat was going to South Africa. Sorry.
Right. Yeah.
They arrived in South Africa. My grandfather was the head of the ANC. You know the ANC.
Yeah.
Armed wing. So he made bombs. For
Okay.
Nelson Mandela.
Okay.
Okay, so you see that we've had no home, right?
Okay.
The Jewish people have
I understand,
had no home.
right, okay.
Ashkenazi Jews, maybe
Yeah,
in
yes.
Lithuania, but Middle Eastern Jews, Sephardi Jews,
Yeah.
have either lived alongside Muslims or been running around the world.
Okay.
So, to be safe and to not trouble the 22 other Arab nations with lots of Jews in their countries, I believe Israel should exist.
Okay.
I do not believe we should violate the rights of the Palestinian people, and that's why I condemn the idea, I condemn the settlers, and I condemn the like terrorist groups which go kill Palestinian babies. But I do not condemn the idea of when it protects itself from rockets or when it shoots at terrorists. I do condemn it when it shoots innocent children because it's a really overly aggressive military force.
Yes.
It needs to cut back. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. There is the sentiments that you have expressed. Any human being would probably agree with you. Okay, not an issue. However, if we look at the current situation, if like we were discussing earlier on, if you say that a land which is occupied by a particular group of people, in this case the Jews, okay, they have a right to exist, I don't have a problem. However, if we were to look at it from a contemporary perspective, I'm sure you are aware of how Israel came into being.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a problem with that?
Up to 1967, when they expanded its border, they probably don't have a problem with it.
Why not?
I think, well, I do have a problem with it actually, because
Okay.
the UN and the British were stupid not to do it.
There you
The
are.
fact of the matter is,
Yes.
Israel exists.
Right, now.
Reality, and you have to accept it, and
Right.
you cannot bomb our children.
Right, excellent.
Not for you, I'm saying other people.
Yeah,
How
absolutely.
do you know these people who are flying rockets are not actually instigators?
My wife in Selfridges.
Okay.
Back again.
Inshallah, 3-4 weeks. Yeah, 3-4 weeks. Yeah, we want to bring in 2 more before Ramadan.
Where have you been?
Yeah, I know, but you've heard that.
I don't believe that a true Muslim can do that. Because
I'm not saying they're true Muslims, I'm saying they're just Palestinian people. A lot of them aren't very observant to Islam. A lot of them don't wear headscarves. They have triple arms. No, but Hamas, at the start there was the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Army, which wasn't Islamic. And then Hamas is an Islamist. Sorry, Arab.
expanding his borders.
No, Israel reduced its borders when it invaded Egypt and Jordan.
Like he said from the 67, yeah? The agreement.
Yeah.
From then on.
Yeah, it expanded, and then it expanded even more. It took Mount Sinai, then they gave it back, and they got rid of. They've moved out of Gaza. The only place where they're expanding their borders is in the West Bank, and I just said I condemn that. So
You should condemn a lot of things they're doing, really. I mean, putting little children into prison, you know, using force on women, using force on, you know.
what little children? They put Palestinian children in prison.
I mean, I saw a video where they're taking a 5-6-year-old into
Yeah.
prison. I mean,
They probably arrested him because it's fast.
They were arresting him.
come on, you're gonna arrest a 6-year-old?
I was arrested when I was 12.
No, I mean, logically, is that something acceptable?
No, it's not acceptable. I never said it was acceptable. I'm just saying that that's one story. You've seen a video of that. But imagine in Italy if the Romans came back and started firing rockets at Rome. Okay, like the original. Do you not think
Let's
that?
imagine this. Romans came to England and got a home here, and then started grabbing land. What do you think they will do? You're crazy.
No, thank you so much for the offer.
It's not one-sided. It's not Israel's all bad and Palestine's all bad. They're both pretty bad. They're both done terrible.
What did the Palestinians do when they invited the Jews, to come? They welcomed them home, like in their own home. And then Israel set up a government, right? You know, they set up an army or what have you. So they used their brutal force to grab land.
In the formation of Israel, there wasn't much right. Just what came afterwards. No one managed the borders properly. You're forgetting in the original UN borders were quite fair. Israel was an international city because it's holy to both Jews and Muslims. It was shared.
No, you mean Jerusalem?
Jerusalem. Jerusalem was an international city which was going to be shared between Palestinians and Israelis. Israel's borders were significantly less big, but when you have surrounding Arab nations which attack you, you expand, okay? Because Israel is bloody powerful, and if they get attacked, they're going to retaliate, okay? And they're going to expand. They took Mount Sinai, they took parts of Jordan, and they gave them back. And I think to say that Israel is massively expanding its borders and wants to take over the entire Middle East,
Have you not seen them up lately?
in West?
Have you not seen them up? I mean,
the
the West
West
Bank
Bank.
is increasingly smaller and smaller. West Bank smaller.
The West Bank, not Gaza,
Literally,
but
there's no
only the West
Palestine
Bank.
anymore.
Only the West Bank. Only the West Bank. I agree with you, and I said I condemn the settlement. You just need to see if
Condemning is
more.
not just enough. They need to do action.
Me? You want me to go fight for Hamas? You think they accept a Jew? They said they want to exterminate every
doesn't mean
Jew.
anything really, whether you condemn or not. They're still going to keep doing it.
Huh? I'm not. If I have family members who have an Israeli passport, and that means they have to go fight for the IDF, right? Legally, they will get arrested if they don't. They refuse. They don't want to go and be commanded by foolish people who have no. I don't think the IDF wants to exterminate Palestinians. I just think it's poorly run, and they don't actually care.
From what we've seen from their actions,
No,
if they had the means, they will annihilate all of them and take the land for
they have
themselves.
the means. If they wanted to, they could completely
They're
bomb
not
the
allowed
city.
to do that, man. Come on. They
Well,
still-
yeah, they could, if they don't want to.
But that is one of the issues that needs to be really considered carefully. You see, from what you are saying, one can easily construe the idea that might is right.
Right, so it's not right.
Like you said, if they wanted to, they can easily do because they are very powerful.
Yeah.
That's might is right sort of idea.
Yeah, but they shouldn't.
Yeah?
They shouldn't.
No, I agree with you. Yeah?
Dori.
I'm not. I'm putting my hat on. It's like, yeah. So you see, as we said, the idea of a group of people being safe, there's nothing wrong with that. As I was saying earlier on, if we look at it from a contemporary point of view, we find that that particular piece of land was not given. Granted, about what you said, thousands of years ago, which we cannot argue about, because they all.
Come on.
Sorry.
No, if my grandfather brought something, I said, "Hey, that's my home." You say, "Go ahead, man. I brought this in my own house."
Yeah. No. Exactly. We have to get to that. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Thousands of years.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This is ridiculous.
It's yeah. Basically, yeah. If you have got granted that there were people who lived there thousands of years from both sides, yeah.
What caused the problem was
Thank you.
really the Ottoman Empire breaking down, because that caused most of the problem.
Yeah. No. That's fine. But I'm just.
Let's look at the history, because this is important. Okay, so the Ottoman Empire, they all lived peacefully. There was an area where Jews lived.
Yes.
There wasn't division.
Yeah.
Everyone was.
Everyone was fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? After World War I, Ottoman Empire collapses.
Yeah.
Colonial forces come in. And
Yeah.
the British.
Yes.
The Jews have never met. They're not collaborating.
Yeah.
These Sephardi Jews have just been living alongside Muslims for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Ashkenazi Jews came later.
Yeah.
From
Okay.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
And they draw a line, and literally draw a line across the entire Pakistan, India, that kind of thing.
Yes.
They just draw lines, and that caused so many conflicts. Not
Yeah.
just the Israel-Palestine conflict.
All right. Okay.
Right, so it's not as simple as it's the Palestinians' land.
Yeah.
And it's not as simple as it's our God-given land. It's as
Agreed.
simple as they both have a simple right to it. And they
Agreed.
both should have their own states, and that's why it's a two-state solution.
Agreed. But having said that, if we were to take it back to when the whole thing started, was another part of the world chosen to be the homeland for the Jews?
That was ridiculous.
Why?
Uganda.
Why was it ridiculous? Why?
Israel has been the Jewish homeland for a long time. It's been kicked out.
No. Wait a minute. When you say
Didn't
Israel,
exist until what? 67.
when you say Israel, you see, this is where the confusion lies, and that's what we wanted to bring it back to. If another location was chosen, okay, then it seems patently obvious that the group of people you are talking about were not actually in control of the decision-making process, correct? Who was?
The British and the UN.
Okay.
The UN voted on it.
Let us say it was the UN.
British, when it was Palestine,
Yeah.
was stopping Jews going there.
Why?
Huh? Because they didn't want
Thank you.
they didn't want conflict. They didn't want to fight in their controlled land. Imagine if you're running a country.
Yeah.
You don't want to bring in two people who are going to fight.
So they were aware that this potentially could lead to a major problem, correct?
Yeah, and that's why
Okay.
they came up
Would you agree with their sentiments at that time?
well, the sentiment.
With the British
And then
sentiment?
Uganda would have
that
been Israel
Not
now.
the
You would have
British
called Uganda Israel.
it would be a
and say
problem,
Israel
but
had the right.
you must, as you say, you see, Uganda also was ruled by whom at that time? So they had a choice where to send you. When I say you, I don't mean you, I mean the people, yeah? The question I'm asking is, if the sequence of events, the way we are discussing, actually transpired that way, on what basis can we now say that they had a legitimate right to take over that part of the world?
They don't have a legitimate right to take.
They didn't, did they?
No. They didn't have a legitimate right to take the entire thing over without having negotiations with the people there.
Right.
But-
Did they have
but you're forgetting
negotiations?
that these people, why are the British trying to find them a home?
No, you
Wait, let me finish.
take.
Is it-
Sorry,
wait,
one
let me-
second.
I'll
You
let you
stepped.
finish. I'll let you
You
finish.
can
I'll let you finish.
respectfully, because you jumped a step. I just want you to bring back. I am asking, and I did ask about the legitimacy of the action that was undertaken. Was it legitimate?
As in what way? As in was
Taking
it
over that
legitimate
piece of
for
land.
Jews to go to Israel?
Yes.
Well, where else? If they go to, they can't go to Uganda.
No, I'm asking you, was it legitimate? Was it legitimate?
Huh?
Was it legitimate? Let's answer that
I
question.
don't understand the question. Sorry.
You don't understand the question?
If you break
Okay.
the question down.
Okay, not a problem at all.
Break down the
Yeah,
question.
not a problem.
I'll answer it.
There was a piece of land, okay, that was being discussed. Another piece of land was being discussed about a homeland for a particular group of people. Yeah? Now, when the decision was made, was it legitimate?
Yes.
On what basis?
That there were already Jews living there. There were Jews living there before that, and that the British borders made after the collapse of the Ottoman Empire meant that Jews didn't have a. Jews
Okay.
didn't have a
Okay, if I were to take your reasoning forward, can you then on that basis also justify why Uganda was chosen first?
Uganda wasn't really chosen. I mean,
Wasn't
it
it?
was considered.
Why was it considered?
Because I don't know why it was considered actually.
Well, if you think about it, if it was considered, chosen, considered, whichever we want to use, the question then arises, on what basis now are you saying that they
There were
had,
already Jews living there after World War.
there were Jews living in other places of the world also?
Yeah, but
So-
this is the original homeland.
Aha. Now, how are we coming to that conclusion?
Not from the Torah, from history, archaeological evidence. But let me finish. Okay? Can I
Sorry,
have my
please. I thought you had
So
finished.
there were Jews moving there
Yeah.
before Israel was formed, like in mass, because they wanted to go home after being persecuted for a long time, and there were Jews visiting there, British Jews visiting just to go to the promised land, as in for a
If you
religion.
don't mind me asking, if a person is born in a country, that is his home.
Well,
So
what
if you're
about
telling
like,
me I
what
was
about
born
like,
here, and then I say I want to go home to Africa, that's not my home.
Well, what
My
if-
home is where I'm born.
What if you're born in a cattle truck in the Holocaust? Where's your home there?
No, your home is there.
What if you're born?
No, no.
What if
The
you're born
Jews
running
in
away from the
Germany
Catholic
and Austria and all
Inquisition?
these
What if you're
places,
born- What if
they were living there quite happily, and they say, how can they say I'm going to go home? Where is home?
they didn't have a home.
Exactly,
The Middle
but where
Eastern
is
Jews-
home?
The Middle Eastern Jews didn't have a home. They were chased out of their land.
Okay, fine, but where are you going to go home? Then you call other people's home my home?
No, they're both of our homes. And we have to work out how to live together.
You know what I'm saying? Okay,
I'm saying
the Jews
this
in the
isn't
West,
your
for
home.
example, the Jews in the West.
But that's that.
I mean, that is their home. So how
no,
do you
it's not
say
their
that?
home. It's not their home after they've been all killed.
Yeah, but how do you classify as, their home being Israel? I mean, I'm a Muslim. Mecca and Medina is in Saudi Arabia. That's not my home. I mean, although it's sacred to us.
only Muslims are allowed in Mecca. I'm
True,
if
but
the
that's
sa-
not
if we
my
made-
home. I'm saying it's not
sure,
my home.
I'm sure if we made the same law about Israel, I don't think many people would be too happy. But I respect that Mecca is a religious holy site.
What I'm saying, just because your religion has a foundation somewhere,
but-
that doesn't make it
Fine.
your home.
Why is Mecca Why is Mecca significant to you and to all Muslims?
Yes, because
Why?
that's the first house that was built as worship, and we are
And it
commanded
says
to
that,
go and visit
and
it.
it says that in the Quran.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes,
Right?
that's
And on that basis as well, no Muslims are allowed in Mecca. And you're telling me I'm not using religious basis,
Yeah,
which
you
is
can,
very
you
weak
can.
in terms of political narrative. I'm not going to use religious basis. I'm not a religious guy. I'm not wearing a kibbutz. I'm not wearing.
What I'm asking is, I don't understand if somebody is born in a particular country. I'm asking a sincere question. So how can you call home another country?
Why can Mecca be your place of significance because of religion? But Israel can't be our place.
You're right, Alhamdulillah.
It's not our.
I'm not.
No, but answer my question. Will you answer my question?
Sorry, what's your question?
Mecca is significant to the Muslim people because
Yes,
of religion,
definitely. Yes.
right? Because of the Quran.
That's right.
Why cannot Israel be significant to the Jewish people?
It should
because
be.
of the Torah?
Why shouldn't it?
Huh?
Yes,
Exactly,
it should be.
exactly.
Yes, but
So
that's
I've
not.
just justified why the British chose Israel over Uganda.
What I'm saying is,
Because more
your
Jews
home
want to
is
live
where
there,
you
and
are
they've
born.
just been killed. 6 million.
Come on here.
I
Half
think
the Jewish population.
I think there seems to be a usage of emotive terms which is actually clouding the discussion here. What I would suggest we do is go back to what we had where we had stopped. You see, if there is a legitimate claim, then we can proceed. If there was no legitimate claim, then we have to first address whether there was legitimacy in the actions that were undertaken. So question I'm asking is, look, you are saying to me that, look, and like I said, this is for the purpose of the discussion, yeah? You are saying to me that for thousands of years, okay, the diaspora was all over the place. But I said to you, look, whether it's the Balfour Declaration or any other, when the decision was made, Uganda was considered.
Not seriously.
Seriously or not, it was considered. Do you agree?
It was considered.
It was considered.
Couldn't be bothered.
Were there any Jews living in Uganda?
No, there weren't no Jews.
Why would they consider Uganda?
I don't know. But
Okay,
it wasn't really
fair enough.
It was
The point is it was there. Okay. The question then arises this: on what basis now are you saying that you have got a historical right over that piece of land? Is that what the basis is for legitimizing the action that was undertaken then?
a historical right, but I'll tell you why that question is
They had
irrelevant.
historical right.
Why is it irrelevant?
I'll explain to you
Please.
why. I'll explain to you why.
Please.
Because both sides have to accept that the other people are a reality.
Now
you
you
might
mean.
not support the formation, but that question now, present, is irrelevant because it does not matter. Because if you are suggesting, and tell me if you are suggesting this, that we should exterminate every Jew from Israel, then say so. Just
Okay.
because the basis that they didn't have, in your opinion, a solid enough claim for the
Right.
land. I don't think that the Palestinian people. I don't think the Palestinian people should be exterminated from Palestine just because.
Sorry to interject. Can I just ask you a question here? In our conversation here, what remotely suggested to you, one second, let me finish. What remotely suggested to you we were talking about any form of...
Nothing.
One second. Let me
You
finish.
misunderstood what I just said and I feel bad, okay? I was too emotional, right?
That's fine
I'm
then.
just saying, I know you wouldn't want to suggest that, so that's why the question is irrelevant. Because
the extermination.
Both sides have to accept that the land is a reality and work out how to live together.
I'm sorry, what was your name again? Sorry? Albi. Shabir. Albi, you see, I'm not arguing that. What I am saying to you is this. Right now, we can consider it to be irrelevant. We can consider it. I'm not arguing about that. What I'm saying is that, look, when the original decision was made, was there legitimacy behind that decision-making process?
In my opinion, yes.
My submissions are that no, they were not. Why I'm saying this is simply because where there was a choice of homeland, one has to then consider why there was a choice. If, according to your understanding, if I can just finish, yeah. If according to you, they had every right as a homeland there. Now, if we are to bring it to today, as you said, yeah. If you agree with us, and you are agreeing with us about the kind of injustices that are being perpetrated against those people there. Now let's work that.
That's what concerns us. You know, the injustice happening. Not because of
We
land
skip
and
from
all of this.
1940
Look.
Okay, can we let's just consolidate history and then we'll move on to present.
Well, considering the history, then there is no basis for your argument.
Can we consider,
So let's go to
not
today.
Consider, like finish it.
Yeah.
So
Done.
Okay.
You've agreed.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Let's
agreed.
move.
No,
Well, then let's revisit it.
Can differ, but that should not change the way we treat the situation today.
I agree, but you must understand. You see, without you realizing it, all you have relied on is your historical basis for being there. Yet you want to dispense with a relatively recent history.
Gandhi said that he didn't like why Pakistan, the formation of Pakistan.
Gandhi
He accepted it as a
Gandhi didn't like the formation of Pakistan.
but he accepted it as a reality. That's what he said, and that's
Fine.
what I'm asking you to do. And that's what
I have no problem with that. But that, you see, when you are asking me to do that, and I say yes, without you realizing it, your very determining factor is thousands of years of them being there. That's historical.
Yeah.
Now, why not go to a relatively recent history like 1920?
We can.
We can.
But in present history,
Yeah.
that should not play any part whether each state should exist. I'm sure you would agree that just because a state was founded on weak grounds, in your opinion, that it should not then be.
No.
accepted.
It's
Balfour
not.
Declaration.
We've covered that. You see, when you say on weak grounds, I haven't mentioned any grounds at all,
but you said there's
respectfully.
no grounds
But
for the-
no. I said on the basis of what we were discussing. Yeah, the legitimacy element is what I addressed, and I said that if we were to take it the way it happened, then there was no legitimacy for the decision, because there was another area of the world that was considered as a homeland. Okay, now if according to what you said,
It was
mentioned,
mentioned.
let's use the word mention, same thing.
Yeah, I know. I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
But we can have we can disagree in opinion, and I can set out the evidence for the historical opinion. We can go down the historical route, but
yeah.
that will not change the reality that there are Palestinian people in the land and there are tons of Israeli people in the land.
Yeah,
That's not going to change it. And also saying I'm going to destroy either one of those people, or say they have to go back to where they came from, it's not going to change the reality that they are there. Do you understand?
bottom line, it's not going to happen, you mean?
It's not going to happen. And
Okay.
It shouldn't happen.
Okay.
shouldn't
Now,
happen.
let's
Do you think it should happen?
no.
If you could
No.
get, no wait.
To-
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
If you could, with a magic wand, move all the Jewish people out of Israel and have it as Palestine again, would you?
Right. If I had a magic wand, okay, do you know what I would do? I would expand the land and have them both stay there.
That's fair enough.
That's what I would do. But you see, when you ask questions which require a reaction which can potentially be seen to be a very, very biased view,
How
that
would
is,
I be biased?
yeah,
For a Zionist.
no. I'm talking about me.
Can I
Yeah.
ask you a question? When they started immigrating first to Palestine, what was their intention? Was their intention to set a state and make
The first Ashkenazi
place
Jews, the
to
first
stay.
European Jews who immigrated, their intention was to flee the Holocaust, and they set up kibbutzim.
Okay, so when did the idea come of setting up a government?
The state that came with the British colonial
Yeah, they
power.
made a deal
Not
with
knowing
the
what the British said there are too many European Jews coming
Yes, but their
to live in
initial
a
going
to live
there,
in a
it was just to escape.
No, it was because of the war with Germany, I was told. The war with Germany, they wanted to call truce, and then the Zionists, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and all that kind of stuff, yeah, said that we can actually bring the Americans in because they're fresh and young, yeah, and yes, it was.
No, you're slightly.
Look, what we're
jumping ahead.
discussing
No,
it
no,
doesn't
that's not
really
jumping
change
ahead.
what happens in the world, but
True.
we sympathize
Yes.
with the Palestinian people.
Yes.
I sympathise with
Because they are suffering,
Yeah.
and because they were generous
And they got about that
and
much of land.
welcoming others, now they have to suffer.
They have to
weren't
suffer the
suffering. That's why the
consequences.
British said no more Jews can come. The British
Yeah.
said no more Jews can come because you're going to start fighting.
But that was,
And now
that
there's
was
nobody
the
to
British
say
anyway.
anything because the army, they goes and
You're not
they
backing it.
torture in houses
If you
and
can show you
properties
evidence for
and
that,
take.
yeah,
Come on, how many
I've-
videos do you
I've
see
already
online?
said that
man?
I condemn the IDF. I think we should go back to the 1967
Okay, but
borders.
does that
Lots
matter
of
to
Muslims here would
Netanyahu
agree
if
with
you
us.
condemn it or not?
Lots
You're
of-
still going to
But
go and
didn't
attack
the
tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, and you're
Arabs
condemning it,
had
and you're
the
doing
British
everything on it.
anyway, and then the British
You're
had
doing
it
everything.
over.
You see, the thing
Right?
is, the thing
I'm
is,
not acting on it, right? But you're not acting.
the thing is, what you just said, if we were to look at what the reality is today, then we know the reality is what the brother was just describing. You are agreeing with it by saying we need to move back to the 1967 border. The IDF and what they are up to, you also necessarily do not entirely agree with
condemn the
everything.
actions, but I
Right,
do not
excellent.
condemn- I don't think their intentions are bad. They're just way too aggressive. I don't
That
think
is
they're trying
fine.
to exterminate the Palestinians.
But I'm sure you
If they
will.
wanted to exterminate the
I have
Palestinian
never
people,
seen
they could do it
any
themselves.
army in the world who will grab a
Oh,
5-6-year-old
So
and
imagine-
arrest a
imagine-
child.
imagine
I have
if-
not seen
imagine-
anywhere.
Imagine if Scottish people started firing RPGs at the UK.
And you
they
think the
wouldn't
British
react
going to
unreasonable?
go and arrest a 6-year-old? Never in a million
100%.
years.
They would react unreasonably.
Never.
And I'm saying they're reacting unreasonable, and they're reacting badly, okay? Really badly. The kids throwing stones, they're shooting kids going to.
So
I'm not
what?
denying that.
Even here, if you steal, if you rob as a kid, they won't do anything.
No, of course they won't do anything.
Exactly.
But I'm saying if it's a threat from another
But then the
state.
Palestinians, they all live together anyway before that
Okay,
stuff.
okay.
They all live together.
Hamas-
Actually, some
Hamas
Jews,
or
they don't
IDF?
want any.
No, they lived all together, didn't they?
Yeah,
In
some
peace,
did.
yeah? They lived all
Loads of
together
Jews.
in
My
peace
parents,
in
loads of
Palestine.
Yeah, they did.
Didn't they?
They did.
They lived in peace.
You need to
in
understand
Palestine
that Zionism
back in the
is a
day.
simple
So
belief
why is all the
that
problems
Israel
now
should
then?
exist.
Because
Okay?
some
And I
extremist
think everything I'm
people
saying
have come
is
over
pretty
and
reasonable.
Okay,
Took their
for a
liberties
Zionist,
away.
because
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty nasty
How
Zionists.
can you're
Agreed.
trying to reason and arrest of a 6-year-old? That's what you're trying to
And
do.
all they got is stones.
You're not
Yeah.
listening, brother.
I am
You're not
listening,
listening.
but you're-
I said at the beginning of this conversation, I condemn the IDF. What part of that?
Yes, but you just try to explain, okay, he had a stone, he threw it. you
No,
know,
no. I think the IDF soldiers who shoot innocent children, right, who are throwing stones, should absolutely go to prison for the rest
Okay,
of their
what
lives.
punishment do they get?
Huh?
What punishment?
I'm not going to go kill them, though, but they should go to prison.
No, but they
Or-
don't get nothing.
Yeah, they don't. I agree, and I said I condemn that.
So that
and I'm
means,
going to speak
that
out against
means
that
the
on a daily
government
basis.
is a tyrant government.
Huh?
They are tyrants.
I didn't deny that. I just said it should exist. I don't.
He's,
you're not-
he's,
you're
he's,
missing-
what you, the brother is basically saying is that as far as he is concerned, the state of Israel should have a right to exist. Correct?
True.
That's all.
Just because you have the power, that don't mean I should come to you and take it and
Absolutely.
say I have a right to
Remember
live.
the Iraq War?
Agreed.
Iraq War, right?
Or have
Remember-
half land, or saying not like
Quarter.
little-
Remember when the Iraq War,
bit.
right? When Tony Blair went to invade Kuwait, right?
Yeah, but he's a war criminal.
Yeah, of course he's a war criminal. But does that make?
No, 1
it
second.
doesn't make every British citizen.
Why is he a war criminal?
Huh?
Why was Tony Blair a war
No,
criminal?
can we-
With the Iraq war, innit?
Why?
Because he invaded.
He made it. He
Well,
he-
Moshe,
he-
Moshe Dayan was considered a terrorist. Yeah?
Yeah,
By
but
the
he
British
shouldn't
government.
have gone killed
In fact, he's
half a
still on
million
the he's
children.
still
Yeah,
on
to agree
the
with
thing.
half a million children.
But the
Well,
point
the
is that there'll be many things which we are not aware of. We won't know about. Okay?
But can I finish
But
my point? This is
oh,
just-
sure, I do apologize. Yeah.
Because of the actions of the British government in the Iraq War, I'm sure you would agree that doesn't make British citizens a target for terrorist attack, right? A legitimate target.
No, but there's a
I
vast
don't
difference.
agree with being targets of attacks. I mean,
Yeah.
who legitimizes the attacks to be carried out?
Does it make a revenge attack on
No,
UK
it doesn't.
citizens? Yeah, exactly. So you'd agree, right?
I do agree.
Yes, so you'd agree.
I don't
No,
agree
but
with
they-
that.
Therefore, by your logic, very sensible, normal logic, then the actions of the Israeli state shouldn't mean that the Israeli citizens are killed. I know a lot of Israeli citizens who hate
That's the same with
white
Palestinian
settlements.
citizens as well shouldn't be killed. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
I
just
agree.
tit for
I
tat. It's just
agree.
going around in
What does-
circles.
agree. I
Okay,
agree.
let me
I
ask you
completely
this.
agree with you,
What does it mean? What does it mean if a government gets away with genocide? What does it mean?
Okay, genocide? No. Unlawful killing? Yeah.
Okay, unlawful
No,
killing. What does
but
it
which
mean?
Hamas or the IDF? Which had genocidal intentions? Both or
Both sides.
Both sides. Because I'll tell you that on the Hamas manifesto it says
Hamas
we
is
will
a group, it's not
exterminate.
government.
I know. Well, it calls itself the government. and
Whereas
it's rigged
Israel,
elections.
they are a government.
It's rigged. No, it's a government. Recognised. It's come to UN talks, right? And in its manifesto it says, we will exterminate every single Jew in the Middle East.
It's the same.
We
You've got
have
it's the
extremists
high
in our
people that
religion
are
as
doing
well.
all this.
No, it's
and
not-
the
it's not about
citizens are
religion,
paying
it's
for
about
it. That's what it is.
You're
It is. You've got the people, top people are calling all this out, and all our citizens are paying for it.
Of course, exactly.
Because we're not strong enough.
I know.
Because we can't get together
But if
and
any,
rise against
if
them.
I don't
That's
think.
all it
I
is.
don't think each side have genocidal intentions. Mainly because the Hamas can't really commit.
And then we're
genocide.
suffering from it.
Because I mean they need a few more weapons, and the IDF doesn't have genocidal intentions. It just is super aggressive.
Yeah, look,
it's not
the
killing-
Palestinians are getting frustrated, you know, because every day it's becoming more difficult for them.
Well, then they should come negotiate, and so should the Israeli government.
Yeah, they should
Negotiating
bend
what?
over and just
Yeah, exactly. And
have a piece of each other.
Yeah.
What do you want to
That's
negotiate, man? Negotiate what? Please tell us.
Negotiate
what?
Negotiate the forming two states. So the Palestinians have a sovereign state. Do you not agree with that? Palestinians
They're not allowing
negotiate the borders, like they did in 1967.
There is no borders anymore.
I
It's
mean,
only
so
Israel
how
now.
you
There's no
meant to-
Palestine.
How you meant
They-
to give dawah?
you're not looking-
If there's all this killing and animosity, and you're
Yeah,
not how you meant to
exactly.
give
It
dawah,
has
like
to
and
stop.
call people to Islam.
You have to
and,
accept that
you
Israel
know,
exists. You have to.
regardless if someone's an
Do you
oppressor.
agree? I accept the Palestine exists. I accept that the Palestinian people
We are-
do face challenges from the IDF. Okay.
We are pro-life. We
Is
are
it in
pro
Allah
in
say the
everybody
most of the
having
world
a
are gonna
home,
be
a
Muslims
land.
one day anyway?
You know.
Exactly.
But when it comes to you using your army to go and
No, how-
grab land and torture people, you know?
It's not my army. That's like saying ISIS is your
It's
army.
the government's
No,
army.
no,
Whose
that's
army
not
is
my
it?
army. That's like saying ISIS is your army.
ISIS is my army.
No, that's like saying that. Okay, that's completely, that's ridiculous. The IDF is not my army. I've been
The-
to Israel twice. I'm not Israeli, I'm British. The IDF is not my
What do you
army.
mean about you?
That's unreasonable.
The idea of the army is Israel's army.
Huh? Yeah, and ISIS is the army of the.
Of Israel. Of Israel.
Of Israel. Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's true. It is.
It's so not.
That's the thing.
That's
Yes.
so
It is.
fucking anti-Semitic.
It's not.
It really is.
Anti-Semitic?
Yeah.
What's anti-Semitic? Because they're not Semites.
This is a useless.
Israel.
Exactly.
Israel,
That's what I'm trying to cut.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Semites have got brown skin. They're the old
I'm a
Jews.
Semite. My mum's
Oh, right, whatever. You're not
You know,
Ashkenazi
if
Jew.
he
no, no,
really
you're
looks at
Islamic.
history,
Come on,
you know,
Islamic
the
Jewish
Jewish people lived
Islamic
with Muslims as
Islamic
No
Spain.
problem. There was no disagreement at all.
Since the time of the Prophet
Yeah.
up till
Yeah, absolutely.
Algeria.
Not a problem.
70,000 Algerian Jews. Where did they
What
go?
colour are they?
Where did
What
the
colour are they?
Brown.
There you
So
go.
where did 70?
A pleasure speaking to you, sir.
Where did the
Thank you.
70,000 Algerian Jews go? Where did